Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to the Japan Study Center. Today we are going to see the chapter of geography and what is our topic today? I have a most important chapter doing here a composition of the atmosphere and the structure. There is a most important chapter and the important here is the first point is a composition of an atmosphere. There is a most important here. The atmosphere is made up of different types of gases, waters, vapors, and dust particles. There is a generally things here are different types of atmosphere made by there are gases, water, vapor, and dust particles. The composition of the atmosphere is not static. Is a changes is according to the time to place. There is a most important. The first here the gases of the atmosphere. There is the most important. The atmosphere is a mixture of different type of gas including water, vapor and dust particles. Nitrogen and oxygen are the two main gases of atmosphere. There is a 99% part of it is made up to these two gas. There is the most important nitrogen oxygen is a 99% part of made of these two gas. Another gas like organs, carbon dioxide, hydrogens, neons, helium, etc. From there is a remaining part of atmosphere. There is a detail of different gas of atmosphere. A given table here. Show here table. In this table, the amount of gas in the dry and the air of atmosphere. There is the most important. The main gas here are nitrogen and oxygen. The nitrogen is a 78.1% and oxygen here are 20.9%. There is the most important and the other secondary gases here. The organs, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, neon, helium, ozone, and another. There's the organs is here 0.9 and the carbon dioxide is 0.03%. Hydrogen here 0.01%. Neons is a 0.0018% and helium is a 0.005%. Ozone here and there other. There is the most important. There is only for a 0.99 means less than 1. If you understand there a composition of atmosphere, there a pie chart here show in the screen. There is a pie chart show of clarity. The nitrogen is a 78.1% and oxygen is a 20%. And the less is a 1% here other gas. There is a most important for a pie chart of composition of atmosphere chart. The next gas has a ozone gas. The amount of ozone gas in the atmosphere is very little. It is a limit to the ozone, the layer, but is very important. It's a protect the living beings to the absorbing their ultraviolet ray of the sun. If there was no ozone gas in the atmosphere, there would be not has been extended to the living beings and plant on the earth's surface. There is a most important here ozone gas. And next here the water vapors. There is the most important also. The gas form of water present in the atmosphere is called water vapor. Water vapor present in the atmosphere has made life possible on earth, but vapor is the source of all kind of precipitations. It is a maximum amount in the atmosphere. It could be up to the 4%. A maximum amount of water vapor is found in a hot, wet, and the regions, and it is the least amount of is found in the dry regions. Generally, the amount of the water vapor goes on decreasing from a low latitude to the high altitude. There is a most important, and in the same way, its amount goes on decreasing with the increasing altitude. Water vapor reaches in the atmosphere through the evaporations and transpiration. There is a most important here and evaporations and take place in the ocean, sea, river, pond, and the lake. Will their transpirations take place of from to the plants, trees, and the living beings. There is the most important here the water vapor reach in the atmosphere through the evaporations, transpirations, and evaporation. There is the most important here. And next here is the dust particles. Dust particles here are generally found in the lower layer of the atmosphere, and these particles are found in the form of sand, smoke, and oceanic salt. Sand particles have an important place in the atmosphere, and this dust particle help in the condensations of the water vapor. During the condensations, as water vapor get condensed in the form of the droplet around these dust particles. And due to this process, the cloud are formed or precipitation is made possible. There is a dust particle is the most important here for this condition. And here important of atmosphere, there is important here oxygen is a very important for the living beings, and carbon dioxide is a very useful for the plants. Dust particle present in atmosphere create a suitable condition of the precipitation. That is the most important. The amount of water vapor is atmosphere goes on changing and directly affect the plant and living things. There is the most important here. There is a changing and directly affect by the plants and living beings. And the next year, ozone protect all kind of life on the earth from to the harmful ultraviolet ray of the sun. The most important here, ozone protect. Ozone is the most important for here. The harmful ultraviolet ray is often the sun on human beings. The most important here is structure of the atmosphere. What is the structure of the atmosphere here? The atmosphere is the integrated part of the earth. It is surround their earth from all the sides. Generally, it is extend up to about 1600 kilometer from to the earth's surface, and 97% of the total amount of weight of the atmosphere is a limit up to the height of about 30 kilometer. There is a most important. The atmosphere can be divided into the 5 layers according to the diversity of temperature and density. There is a most important. The first layer, troposphere. Second is a stratosphere, and the third is a mesosphere, and fourth is a ionosphere, and fifth is the exosphere. There is structure of the atmosphere is a 5 type. There is according to the temperature and density. Here show the diagram. There is a exchange of density of temperature here. Exosphere is the first of all, ionosphere and the mesosphere show here. The 400 kilometer is the exosphere, and the less than the 80 kilometer here ionosphere, and there is the most important, and there is a down for down, and there is a come to there is the mesosphere and stratosphere and the troposphere pulse. There is the most important structure of the sphere on this diagram. The first here, terrasphere. Terrasphere is the lowest layer of the atmosphere. This is the lowest layer of the atmosphere. The height of this layer is about 80 kilometers on the equator and the 8 kilometers on the poles. The main reason of higher height at the equator is due to the presence of the hot convections current that is push the gas upward. There is a most important. This is the most important layer of the atmosphere because all kind of weather change take place only in this layer. There is a most important here. This is the most important here because the all kind of weather change the place only in this layer, and due to this change or development of living world take place on the earth, and the air never to remain static in the layer. Therefore, this layer is called changing sphere or troposphere. There is the most important. The environmental temperature decrease with the increasing height of the atmosphere. It is a decreasing at the rate of the 1 Celsius at the height of the 165 meter, and this is called to the normal Laplace rate. There is the most important here. The upper limit of the troposphere is called troposphere pulse, and this is a transitional zone. And in this zone, the characteristics of the both the troposphere and the ionosphere are found here. Stratosphere, there is the most important here. This layer is above to the troposphere, and this layer is spread up to the height of 50 kilometers from the Earth's surface. It is an average 10 to 40 kilometers. There is the most important. The temperature remains to almost the same in the lower part of this layer up to their height of the 20 kilometers. After this temperature increasing slowly with the increasing in the height. The temperature increase due to the presence of the ozone gas in the upper part of this layer. The wealth related to incidents do not take place in this layer, and the air is below to horizontal here. Therefore, this layer is a considered idea for flying of aircraft. Our next layer is the mesosphere. The mesosphere, it is a third layer of the atmosphere, spreading over to a stratosphere. They spread up to the height of 80 kilometers from the surface of the earth, and its extent is 30 kilometers. The temperature goes on decreasing and drop up to the minus 100 Celsius. The meteors are falling star occur on this layer. There is a most important. The next layer, ionosphere. Ionosphere is the most important layer. This is the fourth layer of atmosphere. It is localized about to the mesosphere, and this layer is spread up to the height of 400 kilometers from the surface of Earth. The width of this layer is about 3 kilometers. The temperature start to increasing again with the increasing height in this layer. An electrically charge is a current flow in this air and the sphere, and radio wave are the reflected back on the earth from this sphere, and due to this radio broadcasting has become possible. Their ionosphere is the reason for the radio broadcasting on possible. The next is here the exosphere. The exosphere is this last layer of the atmosphere, localized above to the ionosphere and extend to the behind 400 kilometers above the earth. The gases are very present in this sphere due to lack of gravitation force, and therefore the density of the air is very less here. The most important fact here, change of weather take place only in the troposphere, and change of weather condition do not take a pulses in the stratosphere, and this is the idle layer of the flying airplane. This aeroplane is the most important flying in the air or stratosphere, and ions are found to the abundance in the ionosphere. Ionosphere is reflect back the radio wave to the earth and make to the possible for the communication system. The communication system is a possible here is a present of ionosphere. Ionosphere is a reflect back the radio wave to the earth make a possible for a communication, and density air is the least of the exosphere. There is the most important point here, a density of air is the least is exosphere. Here is the most important 3 point here arrive. There is a flying airplane is a possible because the poles to the stratosphere, and possible for the communication system. There is a layer of present to ionosphere, and density of air is the least of the exosphere. There is the most important point, note down for your notebook. The most important point doing here a cycling process of the atmospheric gases. There is the most important topic. The cycle of the main gas is found in the atmosphere is given below. The carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, and carbon dioxide cycle. There is the most important for the geographical reason. There is the first here, carbon cycle. The element of the carbon is present in the atmosphere in form of the carbon dioxide. The source of carbon from all living beings is the atmosphere. That is the most important. The green plants receive a carbon dioxide from to the atmosphere, which is used for making food with the help of the sunlight. This is called to the photosynthesis. By the process, the plant create of carbohydrate in the form of food. The carbohydrate thus produced by the plants are used as the food by all living beings. The carbon dioxide get dissolved in the water bodies and get collected in their form of limbs of earth. After this, the dissolutions of limestone, carbon dioxide again reaches in the atmosphere. This process is called carbonylation. Carbonylation in this is the way of carbon dioxide goes on the moving between to the atmosphere and water body of earth. There is a most important the carbonizations, and carbon dioxide produced by breathing of plant animal and degradations of plant animals and by burning fossil fuel like coal, petroleum, and natural gas again return to back to the atmosphere. In this way, the process of receiving of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and going back to the its form of the surface of the earth keep on the going continuously. It keeps the balance between the carbon and is a biosphere. Here show the most important diagram of carbon cycle. There is a carbon cycle here, a sun, photosynthesis producer, a plant tree, and there is a goes based to the consumers and decomposer. And the respiration here, atmospheric carbon dioxide, and goes to the producer, plant and tree. There is a cycle. And the other cycle here is goes back to the producer, a plant tree as goes to the soil and coal, oil and combination, and there is go to be a atmospheric carbon dioxide. There is the most important carbon dioxide cycle. The our next topic is the oxygen cycle. The oxygen cycle also important here. The amount of the oxygen in the atmosphere is about 21%, and all living beings use oxygen present in the atmosphere for a breathing. Their oxygen is the most important for a living organism. And for the burning of the fuel like a wood, coal, gas, etc., oxygen stimulates and the carbon dioxide gas produced by their burning. There is the most important here. The main source of oxygen is the atmosphere is a plant and trees. The higher the number of trees and plants, their ability of the oxygen will be more. There is the most important, and oxygen produced through the photosynthesis by the green plant goes back to the atmosphere, and in this way a process oxygen cycle goes on continuously. Here show the most important oxygen cycle. There is a very easy is a diagram here, oxygen cycle. There is a very simple and very useful for you. There is here a sun produce a solar energy by their photosynthesis cell. The plant and trees their use of solar energy on a photosynthesis processing and goes with to produce here oxygen या glucose. The plant and trees are produce oxygen or glucose. There is a goes back to the heterotrophic cells, and the heterotrophic cells use and produce here carbon dioxide or water, and this goes back to the plant of photosynthesis cell processing repeating. There is a very easy oxygen cycle. Note down your notebook. There is a most important and simple diagram for you. The next important topic here are nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is the most important here. The nitrogen important element of the life. The amount of nitrogen gas is the atmosphere is a 78%. There is a maximum amount of present of the our atmosphere is a 98%. The main source of nitrogen are the nitrate present in a soil. From the atmosphere, nitrogen enter into the bio component through the biologically is an industry process. Nitrogen compound forming to the plant are transferred to their animal through the food chain, and the process of transformation of nitrogen gas of the atmosphere into the nitrogen component is called nitrogen fixation. Bacteria as a decomposed dried is a plant dead animal. It is a produce a nitrogen gas and which goes to the back into the atmosphere. In this way, the cycle of nitrogen gas is completed. Here show the diagram. Here show the most important diagram, nitrogen cycle. You know that there is a very easy cycle. Here, first of all, here was to the clean soil storage pool and is a nitrate. And the nitrate has come to atmosphere storage pool of the nitrogen gas. There is a exchange to the each other here. Atmospheric storage pool is a nitrogen gas to goes a lighting fixation, and here soil storage pool interact, and here is a come to the other side nitrogen fixation by the organism, and there is a was to clean, and also therefore goes to the uptake by the autotrophic plant, and the autotrophic plant here after the death. The death is the transfer to the heterotrophic animal, and after death is the decompose the soil and bacteria, algae, and this goes to the nitrogen gas. There is the dead plant and animal. There is the most important source of nitrogen. there is a most important nitrogen cycle and the very easy. Note down your notebook for the exam view. So here is the main source of carbon is carbon dioxide gas found in the atmosphere. The main source of oxygen is the atmosphere are plant and trees. Oxygen is a use of breathing and for a burning of fuel. Nitrogen is a very strongly for a life on the earth. The main source of nitrogen is the plant or nitrate present in the this soil.